Welcome to our second day of MOMentum webinar. Today we'll dive in deep more into educational activities related to entrepreneurship, and we will have a sneak preview of our MOMentum application that will be developed in the next months. Thank you for yesterday's fruitful meeting, and we hope this today's session will be also as interesting as yesterday's. So I would like to welcome Doris Christodoulou from Citizens in Power, a partner organization of MOMentum, to present our results. So Doris, please.
Thank you, Standina. If you give me permission to share my screen. Okay, so I assume that everyone can see my screen, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a bit low. Now it's good.
Okay. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Doris Christodoulou. I am a senior project manager at CAP Citizens in Power. We are an NGO located in Nicosia, and we have more than 10 years of experience with European projects. And today we will delve deeper into project result 3, which is the entrepreneurship education toolkit. So the toolkit consists of 3 main sections. Part A is basically an overview of today's situation of mothers in entrepreneurship in partner countries and across Europe. Part B is about entrepreneurship and leadership educational activities across partner countries. And part C is an assessment tool, a questionnaire basically for the recognition of skills of mothers, their qualifications, and the possible role they can assume in a startup, in starting up their business. So before we delve deeper into the toolkit, I would like to briefly introduce us to the various types of entrepreneurship, starting with small business entrepreneurship. This is the majority of MOMentum role models. This is what they own basically. So if you stay in tune with us, you can check later on what these mother entrepreneurs are dealing with. Scalable startup entrepreneurship is basically a business idea with the potential for rapid expansion, and good marketing is required to get you there. Some examples include Meta or Uber. Large company entrepreneurship, a key characteristic is the rolling out of new products like Apple, Nike, and Disney do. And social entrepreneurship is designed basically to address a particular social issue. Things like NGOs or even for-profit organizations who deal with environmental issues, social issues, etc. You can hear me properly, right? Okay. And then we have innovative entrepreneurship. These are unique solutions to problems, and all types of entrepreneurship involve some level of innovation. We have intrapreneurship, which I find really interesting because this is the practice of working with an entrepreneurial mindset within an established organization. Projects like McDonald's Happy Meal, for example, can be considered entrepreneurship. And finally, we have adoptive entrepreneurship, which is basically us trying to build on and improve an existing business model, for instance, to meet the environmental sustainability goals, etc. Now we will delve a bit deeper into specific examples from partner countries, and here I will invite my partners to interact and add any further information if they wish. I chose one best practice from each partner country, but of course you can find more than 40 examples in the toolkit. So if you want, you can visit later. So starting with Estonia, Estonia is regarded as one of the most entrepreneurial nations. Women the Estonian legislation is very transparent and supportive of businesses, and due to the friendly business environment, there are many initiatives to help anyone who wants to become an entrepreneur. And one organization is BPW Estonia, Business and Professional Women Organization, which is a nonprofit founded in 1992 with the aim to develop women's professional business and leadership potential through mentoring, networking, skill building, etc. I know that we have one in Cyprus. I know there is one in Czech Republic. Yeah, okay. I saw it's an international organization that you can find in most countries. And then moving on to the Czech Republic, the CMAPM, yes, organizes workshops, conferences, events, and carries out projects designed to support women on their way to a successful business. This is the longest running association for women in business, and it's a non-political volunteer organization established in 1995. And moving on with Italy. So in Italy, from research, we found out that there are gender gaps still when it comes to mothers' employment, but educating and enhancing their skills is paramount. Me First Academy is doing that precisely. So this is basically a team of professionals focused on helping mothers to live their lives better and to develop their potential through concrete and effective tools. For example, in 2020 in Italy, there were 249,000 women who lost their jobs, and 96,000 were mothers of minors 4 to 5 of children of 5 under the age of 5. And Me First Academy developed and made available free online tools that women could explore and learn more about their professional goals. Moving on to Cyprus, also in Cyprus, there's still a substantial gender gap when it comes to early stage entrepreneurship activity, but there's a significant shift in its focus on entrepreneurship due to higher education initiatives, civil society initiatives, etc. Here I provide an example. So ACFE Cyprus is an organization with a mission to facilitate and open the conversation about women's role in society, empower, motivate, and connect women through events, networking, workshops, and other leading programs. For instance, in collaboration with the Cyprus Institute of Marketing, the Cyprus Business School is offering a full scholarship worth of 7,700 euros exclusively to the members of this organization. And in Greece, there has been a breakthrough in the sector of women's entrepreneurship in the last years, although there's a lack of evidence about the existence of such initiatives that are specifically addressed to mother entrepreneurs. But here I provide one example, the Association of Women Entrepreneurs of Greece, which is a non-governmental and non-profit organization for women doing business in Cyprus. And as I explained earlier, there are approximately 40 plus initiatives that you can find in our toolkit. Feel free to explore this in your free time. And now we will proceed to part B of the toolkit, which includes examples of activities for empowering leadership and entrepreneurial skills of mothers who want to become entrepreneurs. In blue, you can see some of the skills that you need to master to get you started with entrepreneurship, business analysis, knowing how to make a profit and secure investment, communication skills, commercializing a concept, leadership skills, self and peer assessment and mentoring, understanding your customer, the entrepreneurial mindset, teamwork are very basic elements of people who deal with entrepreneurship. Now, because obviously we have a lot of information in the toolkit, I prefer to delve deeper into some of the activities and make it a bit more practical. So at this point, I would invite my partners and anyone joining us in the webinar to join the Jamboard, where we will see one of the activities included in the toolkit. If you could, no, can you access it, or do I need to share it to the chat? I need to share it, yeah?
Maybe the link in the chat.
Okay. I think you should be able to access it now.
Right.
Okay, so basically the idea of this activity is to encourage self-reflection and exchange findings in a non-judgmental way, identify feasible objectives for kickstarting and developing your own business, as well as stimulates critical thinking and prioritizing. And so basically the idea is that, like, babies who start to take their first steps between 12 and 18 months, we ask you to think of what kind of baby steps you would need to take in the first 6 to 18 months of starting your business in order to ensure potential growth. Let's give it about 10 minutes. So just a few examples to get you started. I would say that for the first 6 months, it's, for example, important to secure investment, prepare the visual identity of your company, and so on. Okay, so I'll start commenting on some of them, and feel free to drop any further ideas that you have. So in addition to the visual identity, I see that, of course, securing financial support is very important for starting and sustaining your business. Developing your network, partners, hiring staff if necessary is very important. The identification of customers is also very important, and there is a follow-up activity if you have time that we can do. Mentoring, trainings, support to set the new strategy is important. One comment that I can make is that all these things, yes, they are baby steps, but they're also very important as an ongoing process. I mean, you should never stop trying to develop your business. So I would say that these are important throughout the time frame of the business. And now I would like to open the floor for a discussion with my partners. If you have any comments that you want to make from the experience from your country, or from participating in this project, any comments that you want to make. Also, our participants feel free to turn on your microphone and make any comments, thoughts, sharing of experiences. Okay, there are no further thoughts to be made. One final conclusion about this activity is that, as you can see, there are many small baby steps that we need to take in order to start a business. A second point is that these things, they need to be an ongoing process. And a third key point is perhaps that these are common things that we all face. So as you can see, there are many similar things written down by each of you. So any obstacles that you can that you face as an entrepreneur are common. It's part of the process. So if we have the time, I would like to proceed with the second exercise, if that's okay. I will share my screen again. Ten minutes. Yeah, okay. Maybe simply introduce can you see my screen? Yeah, the slides. Yeah. Okay. If we don't have the time to actually do the activity, I will simply introduce you to the activity. So basically, this activity is about understanding your customer through the creation of the persona. So starting with thinking about the business that you want to have. Yeah, sure. Better?
Yeah.
Okay. So thinking about the company that you want to have, of course, it's very important to understand your customers in order to ensure success. And this is an exercise that can help you step into the shoes of your customer in order to better understand how to approach them. So there is a set of questions that you need to think about. And basically, all you need to do is grab a pen and the paper and draw your persona and write words around it based on these questions. And by the end of this exercise, you would be more able to understand what kind of people you want to target and what kind of solutions you can provide them with, how to speak to them, etc. Constantina, do we have some time to try it, or should we open the floor to further questions and close? Okay, so we could try it. Okay, if you could give a paper maybe to the partners right here.
Okay. So maybe I can start. My idea, let's say, is creating a...
Do you maybe want to show the drawing? No? Okay. Fair enough.
I was concentrating on creating my business idea, so I'm sorry, no creativity. So I thought that my idea is to create a mobile app supporting dementia caregivers. So this is more or less my business idea. So my customer is Mr. Yanis. He's around 70 years old. He lives with his wife that she has mild dementia. So he's very concerned on how he can take care of him because it was the other way around throughout his whole life. Mainly his wife was his caregiver. And unfortunately, their children live abroad. So he has to support on his own strengths and friends' support as well. Mr. Yanis was a farmer. So he, after graduating from high school, he started cultivating his family fields, his main, he's producing cotton mainly in the central Greece. So I said a little bit about his experience as well. His hobbies are not that much. He's now in pension, but he likes to, he has a small garden outside his home, so he spends his free time cultivating throughout the whole year vegetables for friends and family. He has also a small greenhouse, so he's fully occupied on that. I did not answer the customer bridge. Sorry, I forgot that. I think that I will. He's an open heart person. Maybe I could say he's even he's in an old age. He's open to learning new things and very adaptable to that. So regarding the section B, how he would spend our time related to the opportunity, I think that he maybe found out about my app after the diagnosis. It was suggested to use such an app by the doctor. Actually, what he does now is that he's observing the change of his wife's behavior and tries somehow to find solutions and tips inside the app. So that could be a short usage about the story about how he may use my app. Actually, he's not that tech savvy, but thank COVID and mobile app, being his children abroad, he has a smartphone, so he now knows how to operate. But he's having some difficulties on using our app, and mainly the recording, the diary, recording the everyday change of behavior of his wife. But we are very happy to assist Mr. Yanis to this very difficult journey. We are thinking that we can provide some face-to-face trainings for them, maybe with along with their doctor, so we can show them how to use this app. So that was Mr. Yanis and his journey with dementia. So I don't know. This was my personal.
Very interesting. Thank you, Konstantina. If anyone else has any similar customers, yes, yes, you do. You want to share with us? Maybe show us your drawing as well.
Together. And it plays on the idea of like food as elements of social cohesion. And my food of choice is cheese. Because cheese is one of the best things in life. So the business idea that the customers will have, should I unmute? Okay. Great. Since it doesn't like, so maybe I should reiterate. So very briefly, the business idea revolves around cheese as like scattered cheese boards, so tapas and grazing tables, and it's called cheesy, cheese board made easy. And the customer is called Corinne. She is 36 years old. She's based in Prague, but she originally comes from France, a country with very strong culinary heritage, especially for cheese making. Her family is still in France. She doesn't have relatives in town. She's not married, but she's in a long-term partnership, and she has no children. She works in a management consultant for a pharma company in a mid-senior position. She has a very good income for the standards of the city. So she affords, she has plenty of disposable income to pursue different hobbies like yoga, painting, but she always remained very fond of volunteering since she has been doing this for more than a decade. She is well educated. She has a master in biology sciences. She studied abroad. She had a chance to travel extensively. She's certified in management, and she's constantly improving, attending professional trainings. So when she's not busy in her management position, she is getting additional certifications or pursuing one of her hobbies. So that leaves her with rather limited free time. But she is a strong believer in equality, social inclusion, and community building. And she always enjoyed surrounding herself with dear people. Since she doesn't have her family in town, but she still wants to keep an active social life, she would like to start a social club for expat women, a small network to bring together like-minded women who also share similar struggles of being away from family, of maybe not having the strong social support that they would benefit from in their country. So then that brings us to how does the customer spend her time relative to the opportunity. So she would like to have these social club gatherings at her place, not to rent any venues, of course, just to give it a go on a very informal basis, start as a group of friends and see where this might go. However, she faces the problems of having very limited time. She doesn't know how to curate cheese boards. She's fond of consuming cheese, but she doesn't know about pairing with wines. And also, she has a really beautiful kitchen, but she doesn't have all the boards and utensils to present the food nicely. And she would like to make a good impression on her social club guests. So she could solve this problem by order local catering, but she feels the local choice is rather limited and doesn't really fit with her vision of how the gatherings should take place. So the cheesy service would fill in this gap.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
I am motivated by cheese. And actually, this is something which I would like to do. So there was a bit of thought before.
Very nice. Thank you. We have about 10 minutes left. Just to make sure that we close this properly, I want to say that there are a total of 9 activities in the toolkit that you can go and check. Some of them take longer, some shorter, but there's still something that you can learn about starting up a business in fun ways. So now I'm not sure if anyone else wants, because you have some time, if anyone else wants to share. Maybe simply, yeah, sure. Yeah, our participants, if they want to share something with us, please feel free to turn on your microphone, camera, drop your question in the chat.
We have a request from Ms. Daphne Chakopoulou, so please open your microphone and share with us.
Hi. I don't know if you see me.
I can't. Who can?
We cannot hear you. I don't know why. Oh, okay. Daphne?
Sorry, my camera is a bit annoying.
Okay. I need it.
Is it okay now?
Yes. Mhm.
Hi, I'm Daphne. I didn't do a drawing, it was this. So that's it. It was a bit of idea about honey business. So someone making honey and wanting to distribute their honey. And I thought like a client that would be a mom working, so she wouldn't have a lot of time. And she would be, I don't know, a mom from how old she was. And she would live in Athens and have kids and like, I don't know how many. But anyway, so the thought was that she wouldn't have a lot of time because she is working, but she would like her kids to have a healthy diet. And so honey, because it's so very healthy, would help. And it would be like delivery. So with the honey, it could be like a packet, a honey jar with a little bit of the cream made with honey, so she could have it for herself, and also some maybe a little quotes about bees, so the kids will also learn about the bees, and that's the honey. So the interest of the client, the customer, is to have a healthy diet for the children and their family, and also ethical working, and the bees would have no, I don't know how you call it. I don't remember the English word, but would be from a farm, not using chemicals and all that stuff. So that was the idea, a little bit. I don't know what else to say about the customer. So that, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay, anyone else? Anything, any other thoughts, or shall we move on to the next part of our training? Yeah, okay. So this is it from me. I know that the English version is uploaded on the website, yes? Yeah, it is. Yeah, okay, so you can check the English version, and the translations will follow up soon. So stay tuned and check our website often for all the updates. If you have any further questions for me, feel free to communicate with me or any of our partners, and we will get back to you with some answers. And now I would like to give the floor to Costandina, maybe, who is the host, to walk us through the next steps of the training.
So if there are not any questions, we'll have a very, very short break of around 10 minutes just to get a fresh cup of coffee and come back to you with the last result of a Momentum project. That would be the Momentum map. So we'll see you in around 10 minutes. Now, as I said previously, you are going to take a sneak preview of our Momentum map and also discuss on why we used this game-based methodology. So I will go at first a little bit of theory, and then we will jump into the Momentum map. For this section, it will be me presenting the map. So in case you, or especially for online participants, I am Konstantina Yakov, and I am a project manager and researcher in Xalidu. So can you confirm you can see my screen? So yeah, great. So before we are using the game-based methodology, it's not that a novice approach, but it's around one decade back, and it is often mixed with gamification. So I will begin by giving some short definitions. The game-based learning is actually to using games more or less for educational purposes. You use games to reach certain learning outcomes and achieving certain goals. Using also games that are, let's say, a medium that is happy, nice, playful, and engaging and interactive. On the contrary, gamification is using game elements in non-game context. Some examples of gamification might be loyalty cards that you use for many years in supermarkets, or leaderboards during courses. So that's a basic distinction. I will not dive deep into more in that, but it's nice finding similarities and use them in educational context, both approaches. Okay. So, why do you use games as an educator? I added. Right. So we said that in game-based learning we are using games. So you might either use based on the materiality physical games, meaning board games, card games, games including phones, or digital games, play video games, or play games that you can play on your computer. And you have also group games like escape rooms, cooperative games that a team has to reach a certain objective, a certain learning objective in the playful environment. So you can find more, you can use regular games and change a little bit their rules, or you can create, if you're interested, a game on your own. But why to use game-based learning and why it is considered a more safe learning environment? That would be in games, mainly there are activities that we engage voluntarily. There is no pressure to participate in, and no matter how many times you try, you don't feel, say, anxious about failing. In games, you can impersonate other characters, so you can raise awareness while playing about certain societal and not issues. Or, for example, in a team, you can take the personas of all team members and see and, for example, solve some problems being in their shoes. And of course, you have, as I said before, you can try as many times as you want. Games are a totally appropriate place to experiment yourself, and you can make your own effort no matter your capability span. So this is why you can use games. So if you would like to design a game-based experience, now I'm talking more as an educator or a facilitator of educational activities. You must have in your mind, of course, your learning objectives, the results that you would like to have after the game ends. Also, you can also, you can think about the environment, the equipment that you might use, the context, the needs of your learners, and you can also think about and employ in your game let's say the level of fun and entertainment that you'd like to incorporate in your game, how players will engage and play the rules more or less, how you can distinguish the learning objectives and the fun elements. And also you have to think clearly also as a game designer about the game design, the graphics, the scenario of the game, the mechanics that you might use. And you have, of course, to adapt it to your target audience. And if we talk about digital games, but also for physicals. You might think about the usability, the friendliness of a user interface. If there are some accessibility issues, for example, the game is addressed to people with disabilities. You can have always to take into account such issues. And of course, I always leave it at the end, but it's the most specific element that you have to take into account is your user. Your target group, its unique identity, their needs, either cognitive or learning, and psychological if needed, and basically to think to which your game or your game-based experience will be targeted to. So I was searching a little bit. um, Sorry, I was looking in Erasmus Plus platform, and I was searching about more or less entrepreneurship-based games. And from my job research, I could assume 4 categories. Some games were simulation of certain scenarios in a life entrepreneur. Others had more role modeling approaches. Some other projects use the skill games in order to enhance the skills of the learners. And I saw a very interesting fourth category that will be cooperative games or games that you somehow can exploit your network of more experienced or less experienced entrepreneurs and learn something together. So I will briefly present 2 case studies that were very interesting. They're both from Erasmus project, so as to make it more easy for you. The first of all is the serious games for adults. It was an adult an Erasmus program on adult education, and in the game, players assume 3 types of personalities, and the regular bees, let's say, that are not that experienced. We have some other kind of bees, I'm sorry, that are more experienced, and we have the queen bees that they are the masterminds of entrepreneurship. So unfortunately, the web page of this project was offline, so I could not find more information on that. The was one guide that could be very interesting, especially for educators to see how we can get game mechanics and transform them into activities. So we have the team building and communication skills. These were game mechanics and skills that they were combined for scale for adults game. So we have to teach people about the responsibility, about problem solving, and on how to set goals and achieve them. And some activities that derived from the game were mainly enhancing the self-confidence of the participants, communication, interpersonal skills, problem-solving skills, and the creativity, because there were some tasks that only the future entrepreneurs to be more creative. And so I was thinking about yesterday, that's why I added this case study. When we had the wonderful intervention of another Erasmus project yesterday, that we could exploit our networks, we could exploit our family networks, or talk to older entrepreneurs and exploit our communities. And I will present also the Grantford project that aims to, it is a project targeting agro-entrepreneurship, but the concept that I would like to highlight is the intergenerational learning from less experienced entrepreneurs and more experienced entrepreneurs. So I searched about their goals. So we would like to promote, to raise awareness on several topics on both generations, assist the transfer of knowledge from older generation to younger generation and vice versa. And it's also pointed out some COVID-related problems for future entrepreneurs. So it is worth reading the notebook. Even if you are not a great entrepreneur, you can find some similarities with regular entrepreneurs. And also, there is a game that promotes interaction between two generations. The older entrepreneur, while playing, has to enhance their skills and certain knowledge gaps that partners identified after the I'm sorry, a research that they have completed about the knowledge gaps of older entrepreneurs. And then it comes to the turn of the new agro-entrepreneur that they are trying also to empower their knowledge, enhance their knowledge on other topics, also deriving from research on this target group. And then they start the old and the young entrepreneur and also the facilitator. They have some discussion based on the evaluation that they have received. I couldn't find more about the game, and also now to jump into the MOMentum app case study. This is, as we said before, and this is to Tanya, that it is a gamified app that it will be an educational tool for mothers who wanted to create a tool that mothers can employ at their own time and their own pace. And they can find inside it inspiring stories from real mothers entrepreneurs. We have also included some tools, let's say entrepreneurial educational tools in a gamified mode. They can also find everyday tips and they can inspire and find ways to solve everyday problems that occur in their entrepreneurial life. And there is a self-assessment of their skill and personality, also linked to their entrepreneurial profile. It is targeted to mothers, but also the educators of them, the VT education educators, since MOMentum is such a project. And now let's jump into the demo. I have added only some screenshots because the app is under development. It's not tested yet. So when you open the game, you either, if you have downloaded first a game, you can engage in a new game, or you can start your journey with loading the game from when you can stop playing. So the basic scenario is that a mother entrepreneur learns about some entrepreneurship seminars. So she decides to take part in that, goes to the training center. As you can find, there are 3 floors the training center, so they can find in the first floor some seminars on how to use entrepreneurship tools. We will see more information on that later. Also, in the second floor, there is a networking event. Let's say that mother entrepreneurs share their experience and are willing to talk with our player, and our player can ask them questions and they answer. And the third one, on the third floor, they can have a short personality assessment with, let's say, specialists on that. So we jump to the first floor. In each room, we can find a certain training. For the demo, we have added the SWOT analysis tool and the white tree tool, 2 tools that are more or less used to brainstorm on your entrepreneurial idea or to find gaps on the market. So you enter, there is a short explanation of the tool by our instructors. And then the players are introduced to the case study scenario so they can learn on how to use this tool while playing. On the second floor, we have the networking mothers. So there are some entrepreneurs, let's say like a speed dating session, so they can decide which entrepreneur they would like to discuss, and there is a variety of questions that they can just tap on them and discuss with the mother entrepreneur. or if they decide that they have no more questions to ask, they can leave the room and discuss with another mother entrepreneur. For each interaction, if you can see the star on the top left, the mother gets some points, so at some there is some scoring system as well. And now we can jump to the assessment session. There are several rooms, and the mothers discuss with several experts, and at the end they have a personality assessment inspired by the online categorization. The app is, as I said before, is in demo version, but it's already available in Google Store, Google Play. I'm sorry. You would like to download it. It is only available in English for the time being, and after being tested, it will be also expanded in partner languages, and also for people that either don't have Android mobile phones, but they have a PC. We have also created a PC version of the app that it is available in the itch.io platform. There are also the QR codes for you to download it. And our next steps would be to have training sessions with mothers, our main target group in national context, that will follow that follow our training activity. Maybe they implement it in October or November. So if you are in one of the partner countries, please don't hesitate to contact us and join the trainings, the testing sessions. And that's all from me. So this was a very quick sneak preview of our app and some very basic theory if anyone from online audience, but also from partners, are more interested in the game-based methodology that we will apply in both the app, but in overall in the MOMentum consortium. So thank you. Are there any questions? I will stop sharing. Okay. Thank you very much for your comments. Are there any questions for both me or Doris' presentation that I was in the first session of today's? If not, you can always contact us on our social media, in Project Social Media. Thank you very much for being here and for your time for both days. It was very interesting interacting with you and viewing your insights in mother entrepreneurship. So thank you very much. For those of you who have asked to receive the certificates of attendance, we'll send them soon by email. And also we'll share our presentations with you to have more time to check on them. So thank you and bye from our friends.